Oh, I better be careful saying this. Energia was amazing, and also the N1. I mean, those were two unbelievable rockets, and I need to do dedicated videos on them. I can't believe I haven't. Hey, look, that might be repressing. That might be repressing. Or detanking the oxygen. Hard to tell. That might be that detank. We will see. But yeah, I don't know. I'm somewhere between Saturn V, the N1, Energia, and Falcon Heavy.
Whoops, I don't know what I did there, but I'm buffering now. Hello guys, I just am doing a quick live stream here because this thing's supposed to fly, I guess. And so we're going to listen into Everyday Astronaut Tim Dodd. And, well, we're going to try to. Or maybe I clicked the... I don't know what.
I don't know. Can you have 4 favorite rockets? And Electron. I don't know why. Electron just steals my heart.
Okay, I'm going to refresh it so that we're caught up with him. I guess we're probably almost caught up, but... Okay, so, because, you know, I don't know if many people know what this is. This is Starship. They're calling them serial number 5 is this one. And, oops, sorry guys. It's just interesting to me because it is 33 feet wide or 36 feet wide, something like that. It's huge, man. It's big. But let's go full screen. I guess they're supposed to do a 150 meter hop, or, you know, like fly up 150 meters and then hop back down. But I don't know, I have my doubts. They always say this, that they're gonna do these things, and then they, you know what, let's try something else. Sorry guys, that's a little better. Is that better? Yeah, that's better, much better. So there are like gases venting out of the thing and stuff, so yeah, I don't know. It ought to be entertaining if it does. You see the one on the left, that little short one? That's the one that they flew before, and I actually have a video of that. Let me see here. I'm gonna try something. Let's see. I'm gonna see if I can find a video of that other one flying. I'm pretty sure I can. Should be in here somewhere. Oh, so how are you guys all doing today? Hope you're all doing good. This world is so crazy now. When you go out in public. Bunch of weirdos. That's all I can say. Bunch of weirdos. Weirdos. Starhopper hop. It might be a comedy. I don't remember. Maybe it's not. It might just be the video. Yeah, I think enough with the noise. Sorry about that. So this is what they're trying to do with this bigger one today. And I'll try to show you how big it is. The scale of it or whatever. I'm gonna try to find Tim Dodd here is buffering, so I'm just gonna pause that. I'm gonna try to find trying to find something here while we watch this Starhopper. Okay, it's 30 feet in diameter. Let's see if this image will help. Oh boy. My computer's a little slow. It's okay. I'm just trying to find something. Yeah, this image will help. Okay. So you see it sitting there flying, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now let's go look at this. Do you guys see this? How do I get that bigger? Open it in a new tab. Let's see what we got. Oh, gee. That's a little bit bigger. Do you guys see how big it is? Is it ridiculously big? Yes. Did it go up off the ground? Yes. That's scary to me. Hey, TrueTube, how you doing? Good to see you. So yeah, this is Starhopper. Now, this is the short one. Let's go back to Tim Dodd. Wow, my computer's ultra slow today. I clicked on that. Okay, let's see that little one on the left. That's the one we just looked at. Okay, so it's not little, but let's listen to Tim for a minute. He's a funny guy.
But then the most common is a biprop. And so right now this vehicle has on it actually cold gas. We would think it has like a couple nitrogen COPVs. And then on top of that, what a condensation lines. Okay, cool. But as far as what eventually is going to happen on this vehicle, it will eventually use the liquid methane and liquid oxygen. So the propellants that are on board. So they'll be able to manufacture liquid oxygen and liquid methane on the surface of Mars using the Sabatier process. And right now what's heading to Mars as we speak, of course, Perseverance is heading to Mars as we speak. Ooh, there is some venting again from the rocket.
Oh boy.
Notice below the rocket, there's engine chill down again.
Notice Tim's believing a bunch of lies again. Tim, he's talking about Mars. Poor guy. Just look at him there. Look at that poor guy. He believes it all. He's into it. We're going to Mars.
Oh, it has been there for a while. I did not see that. And we don't see other... Yeah, if we're only seeing a little bit of residual there and then just that, the big flare over to the side. I don't know. I wish we could put a big old fat ish, maybe. Andrew, throw a maybe question mark over top of the rocket venting? Because I don't know. We have no idea where we're at right now. We don't have any real assessment. Hoping that Elon says something. But, yeah. The trifecta here. This is awesome. Watching Everyday Astronaut, Lab Padre, and NASA Spaceflight at the same time on your triple screen. That's awesome. Yes, again, just keep your love flowing for those people. I mean, everyone's working so hard on so many different aspects of spaceflight, and I just love the whole community. It's so awesome to see what everyone's doing coming together. So I love that people do say, like, you're stealing views. It's like...
Yeah, let's go over to Lab Padre. I think Lab Padre is subscribed to my channel for some odd reason, but because I go over there every once in a while. They've got a camera down there in Boca Chica, Texas. Lab Padre. Let's see what their feed looks like. I don't think he ever really talks much. Ooh, that's a nice shot, huh? Let's watch that one. Ooh, maybe I should go to the chat and say hi. I should. Everyday Astronaut doesn't like my comments. Hi to everyone here. Space is outer darkness. Be careful. Thanks for the footage. Lab Padre. I always gotta say something like that. Wow, they have a lot of people. Their comments go fast. I didn't even see mine. Did mine even go there? Wow. I didn't even see it. Ooh, they got... There it is. Okay. Let's go full screen again. There is some stuff. That's a good shot right there. Look at that. Oh, look at that. They got all these things checked off there on the top left. Oh, it looks like they're almost ready to try it. But I don't know. Everyday Astronaut didn't really know anything. I'm going to turn the volume on, see if they're saying anything. I doubt it.
System that's used on Dragon is a bipropellant hypergolic system.
Oh, it's
and
got
hypergolic
manly.
means that you mix the two propellants together and they instantly explode and produce rocket, thrust. So that's great. And they use chemicals called nitrogen tetroxide and monomethyl hydrazine. And both of those are best described as liquid explosive toxic carcinogens. You do not want even those in even small amounts. Like the hydrazine especially, well, both of these are actually can attack your nervous system. So when they were brought it on board, they had sensors that detected very low levels, and they were worried, okay, maybe if we open the hatch, then there might be a bubble or something that's stuck somewhere in the double walls, and that could leak out, and that would be very bad. So they purged the gaps with nitrogen to try and drive out anything, and ultimately they felt it was safe and opened the hatch, and everything was fine. But it reminds me, of course, of the last time the US had astronauts splashing down, and that was the Apollo capsule after the Apollo-Soyuz test project. And during that, they were descending under parachute, and as you're coming down, you need to equalize the air pressure between the inside and the outside, so you open the snorkel. The other thing they did was they dump the propellant, and their propellant was also, hydrazine. Sorry, it was something called Aerozine 50, which is hydrazine, two types of hydrazine, and nitrogen tetroxide. And because of the sequencing of that, they ended up sucking up those fumes inside the capsule, and they actually.
Hey, Roderick, good to see you. Nothing happened yet. They're trying to fly this thing, dude. Yeah. I just gotta say, it's ridiculous. I think that's what I named this video. It's ridiculous. It's 30 feet in diameter. 30 feet in diameter. So I'm gonna talk about something just because it's been on my mind, been bugging me. Where does this rocket? Or not this one, but other ones or whatever, where do they go? They go up to the sky, right? They go to space. Well, where does God live? Where does God live, guys? Does he live in the sky? That's what the Bible says. Bible says God lives up there, and Jesus ascended after he was raised from the dead. He ascended up into the clouds, and he sits on the throne at the right hand of the Father, up in heaven, in the sky. How can someone be a believer in that city of truth? How can someone be a believer in Mount Zion or New Jerusalem and not understand that these vehicles are just what it says in the Revelation and in Daniel. Just what it says is that, and in Enoch chapter 56, that the land of God's elect ones, or New Jerusalem, it will be the temple of God, whatever you want to call it. It will be tread underfoot 42 months. And people would say, well, we've been going to space for 60 years, so that's more than 42 months. I'd say, yeah, but there's something else going on. What's up in the sky that's new, that wasn't there before? Wasn't there for 60 years. There's something that was there for 20 years now, but there's something else there that's only been there a year. What's in the sky that's only been there a year? Something new in the sky that's only been there a year. Starlink. Satellites, little lights that fly over your house. Whoa, look, he's zooming in. He's got a nice shot. Look at that camera. That is nice. Lots of venting going on all over in those tanks. It makes me wonder, like, do they really believe that in New Jerusalem that is going to come down from God, out of heaven from God? I don't think they do. I think they say they believe it, but they don't really believe that it's there. Because I see a problem. They're saying that the space station's up there. Well, how's that going to work when New Jerusalem comes down? I don't know how many times it says in Revelation that John saw New Jerusalem coming down out of heaven from God. Jesus even said it. He said it comes down out of heaven from my God. So, yeah. Trying to figure that one out. It seems as though it's not like an issue to most people. Most Christians, I should say. People that consider themselves Christians, believers. They don't actually believe it. Like, when I'm, whoa, unplug my mic, or my headphones, sorry. I gotta be able to hear myself talk. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah. I don't know. It's a crazy world we live in, and nobody listens to anything. Yeah. So it looks like they're wasting a lot of gas or whatever there. Let's listen in again for a little bit.
The future of Super Heavy. We've got a Super Heavy, I think it's a U.S. Space Force, or is it the U.S. Air Force launch scheduled for December, and then there may be a couple more scheduled 2001. What's your thoughts on the future of Super Heavy?
Are you talking about Super Heavy or Falcon Heavy?
I'm Falcon Heavy. I'm sorry. Yeah, Falcon Heavy.
I mean, Falcon Heavy is this sort of big bonus points feature that Falcon 9 has. When Falcon Heavy was first conceived, the mass capability of Falcon 9 was way lower than it is today. They've improved it a lot by switching to the longer tanks and then switching to the improved engines and the densified propellants. So a lot of payloads that were originally booked for Falcon Heavy switched over to Falcon 9. But it doesn't cost them that much to keep it on the books. So they are going to keep that as an option for whoever needs it. And it's going to be critical for Artemis. They're going to launch a lot of payloads to the moon using this.
It's also, if I've read a couple of articles correctly, there's still some consideration from SpaceX of increasing the diameter of the fairing, so the capability of launching the larger diameter military payloads will be available for Falcon Heavy.
Yeah, I mean, well, the fairing is the primary limitation for Falcon and Falcon Heavy. It's a lot smaller than many equivalent vehicles. They can put a lot more mass on that, but they have a lot less space to work with. And they've got a longer fairing that's coming along so that they can satisfy the US Air Force, I believe, and the NRO. And they're also providing the option for vertical integration. But yeah, they might still. I'm not sure about expanding the diameter. That would require some serious changes to their, aerodynamics. I'm not sure how that would work, but I'm sure if there's customers, they will consider it.
Right. Well, it will be interesting, like you just touched on. What's your thoughts on this supply to Artemis? Will they be using Falcon Heavy more than Starship, do you think?
I think that
We're going to go check out some other channels really quick. Yeah, so what do you guys think so far? Pretty crazy?
Use iPark It at any of the dozens of parking.
But as far as like, I know most people will have like a laptop and their TV and their phone, and they have all screens pulled up. So I totally get it. I think that's so cool when there's the trifecta like that. Yeah, I like the idea of stealing views. People forget that I was live streaming this stuff last March of 2019 with checklists just like this, basically. This is there's nothing novel about any of this stuff. All of us are just doing something that we enjoy and are here to provide the community with access. So, yeah. Thank you so much to Stephen. Oh, and I should probably, Stephen, I appreciate that, really.
I like that, Roderick. We don't give a Falcon Heavy. That's good. I hear ya. No, and see, here, you guys, okay, when people say NASA's lying or SpaceX is lying or faking space, I think they're misunderstood. I think they're just misunderstanding what's happening. Okay, everyday astronaut here, he believes in this. He believes in it. And Elon Musk believes in it. And these people believe in it. They believe that there's something out there in the stars for them. Because they're deceived. And it's such a serious thing. I mean, if you guys don't see this stuff ramping up, we're coming to the end. Like, I'm not trying to say I know when, but it's gonna be soon. And there's several reasons why I would say that. Yeah, let's listen to him and just try to think about, is this guy like supporting a lie, or is he believing in something and just talking about it?
Continue to pressurize with a rechargeable battery, solar panels, and just continually repress your RCS system. So it's almost like pump fed. Take a little bit of a note from Rocket Lab and pump fed engines, electrically pump fed engines. But instead of feeding the actual little reaction control engines, which would have a little bit of a delay, instead you have like a holding tank, like some kind of auxiliary tank that is just there to rapidly fill up and continually repress. And then you can still have your quick reactions of your reaction control systems. But you still have to have an ignition source. So there still actually has to be some kind of spark or something like that in your ignition source. So we're still hanging in there, guys, to see what exactly. This makes me laugh. Look at Mr. Muscles over here crushing cans with his bare hands. If you have an empty can, isn't it fairly easy to crush it? I mean, obviously I'm super strong, so I get it. But again, we're just happy to see this thing still vertical. let's see. Do I have a video comparing Orion versus commercial capsule?
Blah, blah, blah. I don't know how long this stream will last. I thought they were going to be firing it right away. Because usually when Everyday Astronaut goes on, he doesn't go on there usually. I mean, obviously he can't tell if it's gonna or not, but it's one of those things. I doubt it. You know what? I'll probably just make a video of it for you guys. Hey, Joey Rocha and Corey Murphy. Because it could be this way for 3 hours, and I'm like not really too much into it. I'd like to see them try to fly it. Like that I like, but I don't know when it's gonna happen. It looks on his list here that there's a lot more going on. Siren Herd, T minus 10 minutes. Fuel up has begun. Rocket venting. So maybe they are fueling. I don't know though. Usually you'd be able to see on the side of the rocket. You'd be able to see it was like frosted up. Maybe towards the top I see a little bit of that. I don't know. Oh, I still got you guys on the goofy screen. Sorry. Here, look at the top here. Let's see, right. Seeing about the center of the screen there, does it look like it's maybe frosting up a little bit? I don't know. I think they got some fuel going into it actually.
To get your
Oh, blah blah blah. Yeah. So I don't got much to say here.
word, all lowercase. And again, while we're in the shop, we do have new keychains.
Always selling something. Get a keychain. Yeah. I can't believe that people aren't starting to see these things. This is wickedness, you guys. This is what it is. Trying to ascend into heaven. Serving and worshiping the stars and the host of heaven. That's what's happening right here. They spend billions of dollars to try to go up to the sky. Hey, Theodore. Hope you're doing good. Future Martian Society. See this? Listen to this guy.
And it even has on the sleeve, it shows you what the oxygen and the gravity and all of the things on Mars are. This is definitely one of my new favorite shirts. I think it is my new favorite shirt. But you can pick that up by going to shop.everydayastronaut.com. Or and if you need to cover your face hole, we have face hole Nada masks. They're just masks, but they're face hole cover Nada masks. So if you have a face hole and you need to cover it, yeah, you can grab that. Those are based off of different things like Normal, which of course is a...
Yeah, Roderick, I don't know if you saw it, I did a moon temperature test, just a crappy little test yesterday, and did a live stream. But, yeah. It's amazing how much the moon cools things. It is. It's very interesting to me. When you go outside, if you guys haven't taken one of those infrared thermometers and gone outside, I would do it. Because it plays a little bit of a, I don't know, not a trick on you, but it will make your mind go, what? What? You know what I mean? It'll say, what? It doesn't seem to be right, but it is. Someone in the stream last night said, you can't just make something cold. You can transfer heat, you can, what did he, I don't remember what the right word was, emit heat or something like, but you can't cold. And I said, well, obviously you can. Well, not us, but the moon can. It's a very interesting thing to see happen. Like during the day, if you had a rock, during the day, as the sun goes over, there's going to be the hot part of the rock, and then there's going to be the shaded part of the rock that's cooler. Then when the moon comes up, it switches those two around, and it makes the hot part in the sun, it makes the hot part colder, and it makes the shaded part warmer. How does that work? That's the moon. That's the moon. Let's see here. Let me play a video for you guys, but I gotta find it first. Where is it? I got a lot of videos you guys would laugh at. Let's see. No, it's not there. I don't know where it is. So, yeah. A universal picture. Wait, I suppose we could always play this. This is always worth it.
And welcome to another episode of Effed Up World TV. I'm your host, Simon Dan. Hello all, and welcome to...
I like that one. Oh, do you guys remember this one? Einstein?
The earth is not curved, and that's that.
There's another one, yeah. There's Einstein. Einstein telling you about the world. You know what's interesting? Is there like denial of reality going on when someone says, ooh, let's watch this. When someone says water curves at its surface, come on. No, it doesn't. You made that up. Okay, let's watch this. It's called Loosing the Four Winds. This has been on my mind a lot. The four winds and the firmament moves very fast. So to break through the firmament isn't like you're going to smash through some glass. It's more like you're going to go fast to catch up to it or something. Check this out. Sound waves move through different mediums at different speeds, and through the air, when a jet's flying about 750 miles an hour, it's going about the same speed as the sound waves that it's making. Kind of like a boat pushes the water away, it creates pressure waves. And in the air, this is what it looks like. What I want to point out is that the physics we know, in this world that we know, this is something that probably is like on the edge of some kind of limitation. Something moving faster than the sound it is making.
There it is.
The space shuttle doesn't fly anymore, but when it did, it would take about 45 seconds for the space shuttle to reach that speed of sound. And just like the same as a boat or a jet. Pushing through the air creates a pressure wave, and this is what it looks like up close. And we can see this vapor cone quite clearly anytime something is traveling that fast. Here's the Saturn V. So when it reaches that speed of sound, something happens. And this is where it gets interesting. Watch these next few clips very carefully. Sorry, it's my program acting up again a little bit. Should be good here now. Okay, watch for the vapor cone, and then watch what happens. Do you see that? There we go, that should help. I just changed the setting. So what is it that we are actually watching here when you see those ripples? As if there was a barrier of some sort that is being penetrated. It's called a shockwave, but I'm asking you to think about what's happening. And when this happens, it creates sonic booms.
Once we hear that boom,
Yeah, there they are. Coming in like meteors, real fast. They're gonna do a final burn here in just a moment. There's final burn 1 and 2. 2 candles coming down. Double sonic booms. Beautiful landing. And I see 2 standing. Perfect.
Why am I talking about the speed of sound, or the sound barrier? Well, it gets kind of deep. It has to do with the firmament, and it has to do with the 4 winds of heaven. And of course, we can't forget what's on your screen. A dragon.
And I saw the storehouses of all the winds, and I saw how with them he has adorned all creation, and I saw the foundations of the earth. And I saw the cornerstone of the earth, and I saw the 4 winds which support the earth and the sky. And I saw how the winds stretched out the height of heaven, and how they positioned themselves between heaven and earth. They are the pillars of heaven. And I saw the winds which turned the sky and caused the disk of the sun and all the stars to set. And I saw the winds on the earth which support the clouds, and I saw the paths of the angels. I saw at the end of the earth the firmament of heaven above.
And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pained to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
And they will go up and trample on the land of my chosen ones, and the land of my chosen ones will become before them a tramping ground and a beaten track. But the city of my righteous ones will be a hindrance to their horses. And it came to pass after this, that I saw another host of chariots with men riding on them, and they came upon the wind from the east and from the west to the south. And the sound of the noise of their chariots was heard. And when this occurred, the holy ones observed it from heaven, and the pillars of the earth were shaken from their foundations, and the sound was heard from the ends of the earth to the ends of heaven throughout the day. That I saw another host of chariots with men riding on them, and they came upon the wind from the east and from the west to the south. And the sound of the noise of their chariots was heard. And when this occurred, the holy ones observed it from heaven, and the pillars of the earth were shaken from their foundations.
Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve.
Welcome, Jeremy Edwards and Kelly Lowry and Upside Downer. Good to see you guys. I'm with you, Jeremy. Ready. The home I'm looking for, I know it's in the sky. And that, I don't really think people are believing that. Not many people, I mean. I wish there was more people. But ever since we started flying, I have a video about this. I do, actually. Let's watch this. Yeah, I think you guys will like this. It's a I don't know how long it is. But I wanted to share it with you. A perspective I have gained over the last 5 years. So let's check it out. This was just over 100 years ago. And before that, humans flying was only a fairy tale, only an idea, only something that people dreamed of or thought of, but were not able to do. And this is kind of the time that it began to be possible. Fast forward 112 years or so, and we have really changed. I mean, our world entirely has changed, and a big part of that is because of what these Wright brothers started, and that developed into everything we have today and everything we do and accomplish in this world. So we could almost say we've gone from the Wright brothers to Elon Musk and SpaceX or NASA. And people always want to keep going higher and higher above the earth. Well, I'm here for one reason, and that is to warn you. Yes, you, the person who is listening to this right now. I want to warn you because the prophets warned us. And I've been able to understand what they were warning about. And I want you to understand it as well. And I want you to understand that it is not anything that I'm putting forth. This is something that the prophets wrote about. And they were very clear about what they wrote. And it's just in a language where, like, the idea of a propeller didn't exist. The idea of a rocket engine didn't exist. So these prophets were left to describe these things with the language that they had in the time that they lived, which was a long time ago. But let's listen to some of these prophets talking about some of the things that would be coming on this earth at the end and giving us warning about. Why would the prophets warn us about rockets or airplanes or flying? Because Welcome look down, at Pratt. what it's done for our world. It's totally changed our world. Just in 100 years. So why would the prophets be warning us about these things? Well, here's the basic reason why. Because the prophets knew something that we didn't know, and we are just learning now. And that was that the place that they want to go is heaven. And they're trying to climb up their own way, and there's really only one way, and that is the Son of God. Enoch saw these rockets, and maybe the space shuttle. But let's listen to what he says.
And in those days the angels will gather together, and will throw themselves towards the east. Upon the Parthians and Medes they will stir up the kings, so that a disturbing spirit will come upon them, and they will drive them from their thrones. And they will come out like lions from their lairs, and like hungry wolves in the middle of their flocks. And they will go up and trample on the land of my chosen ones. And the land of my chosen ones will become before them a tramping ground and a beaten track. And in those days Sheol will open its mouth, and they will sink into it and their destruction. Sheol will swallow up the sinners in front of the faces of the chosen. And it came to pass after this, that I saw another host of chariots with men riding on them. And they came upon the wind from the east and from the west. And it came to pass after this, that I saw another host of chariots with men riding on them. And they came upon the wind from the east and from the west to the south.
12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, start, 2, 1, boost ignition, and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery, returning to the space station, paving the way for future missions beyond.
And the sound of the noise of their chariots was heard. And when this occurred, the holy ones observed it from heaven, and the pillars of the earth were shaken from their foundations, and the sound was heard from the ends of the earth to the ends of heaven throughout the day. And all will fall down and worship the Lord of spirits. And this is the end of the second parable. In the 50th year, in the 7th month, on the 14th day of the month of the life of Enoch. In that parable, I saw how the heaven of heavens was shaken violently, and the host of the Most High and the angels, 1,000 thousands and 10,000 times 10,000, were extremely disturbed. And then I saw the head of days sitting on the throne of his glory, and the angels and righteous were sitting around him. And a great trembling seized me, and fear took hold of me, and my loins collapsed and gave way, and my whole being melted, and I fell upon my face. And the holy Michael sent another holy angel, one of the holy angels, and he raised me. And when he raised me, my spirit returned, for I had been unable to endure the sight of that host, and the disturbance, and the shaking of heaven, shaking of heaven. And the holy Michael said to me, "What sight has disturbed you like this? Until today has the day of his mercy lasted, and he has been merciful and long-suffering towards those who dwell upon the dry ground. And they will go up and trample on the land of my chosen ones, and the land of my chosen ones will become before them a tramping ground and a beaten track, tramping ground and a beaten track. But the city of my righteous ones will be a hindrance to their horses."
Now I want you to be careful how you hear, because he's talking about the land of God's elect ones. And here he says the city of his righteous ones. And in my understanding, that city is up in the sky.
But the city of my righteous ones will be a hindrance to their horses, and they will stir up slaughter amongst themselves, and their own right hand will be strong against them. And a man will not admit to knowing his neighbor, or his brother, nor a son his father, or his mother, until, through their death, there are corpses enough, and their punishment it will not be in vain. And in those days Sheol will open its mouth, and they will sink into it.
The weird part about it is space is so incredibly black, so incredibly dark. It's a bottomless pit.
And their destruction. Sheol will swallow up the sinners in front of the faces of the chosen.
Because apparently this is something that we're debating. I have no idea why. And it's not okay to think that the earth is flat.
And I began to speak the third parable, about the righteous and about the chosen. Blessed are you, the righteous and the chosen, for your lot will be glorious, and the righteous will be in the light of the sun, and the chosen in the light of eternal life. And there will be no end to the days of their life, and the days of the holy will be without number. And they will seek the light, and will find righteousness with the Lord of spirits. Peace be to the righteous with the Lord of the world. And after this it will be said to the holy, that they should seek in the heaven the secrets of righteousness, the lot of faith. For it has become bright as the sun upon the dry ground, and darkness has passed away. And there will be ceaseless light, and to a limit of days they will not come, for darkness will have been destroyed previously. I saw how the heaven of heavens was shaken violently, and the host of the Most High and the angels, 1,000 thousands and 10,000 times 10,000, were extremely disturbed.
The book of Revelation is a testimony. John's testimony, and the testimony of Jesus Christ. You can't interpret a testimony. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads, and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew a third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. My face will I turn also from them, and they shall pollute my secret place, for the robbers shall enter into it and defile it. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. I want to talk about Babylon the Great. It's a prison for fallen angels, evil spirits. So what I'm saying is it's a spiritual place. And it's up there in heaven, in the celestial realm. In Revelation 18, Babylon it describes Babylon being destroyed in 1 hour and being made desolate in 1 hour. Verse 17, it says, For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, wherein men were made rich, all that had ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. There are waters above. The ships of the sea might not be on the earth's sea. Might be the waters above, because I think that's where Babylon is, and I have for a couple years. I think that Babylon is space, but there's another part in here. In verse 23, it's partway through the verse, it says, For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. I want to remind people in the flat earth community, that we know of some sorceries that are and have deceived all nations. Apply it. Here's why you should apply it. Because there's more. Here's Enoch chapter 18. I saw the treasuries of all the winds. I saw how he had furnished with them the whole creation and the firm foundations of the earth. And I saw the cornerstone of the earth. I saw the four winds which bear the earth and the firmament of the heaven. And I saw how the winds stretch out the vaults of heaven and have their station between heaven and earth. These are the pillars of the heaven. I saw the winds of heaven which turn and bring the circumference of the sun and all the stars to their setting. I saw the winds on the earth carrying the clouds. I saw the path of the angels. I saw at the end of the earth the firmament of the heaven above. That's Enoch 18. So I want to repeat that he said, he saw the four winds which bear the earth and the firmament of the heaven. And I saw how the winds stretch out the vaults of heaven and have their station between heaven and earth. These are the pillars of the heaven. So we have the four winds which bear the firmament of the heaven. These are the pillars of the heaven. Okay? And the reason why that's important is because in Revelation 7, verse 1, and after these things I saw four angels standing on the four corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God, and he cried with a loud voice to the four angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. So the four winds are being held by four angels. When they let go of those winds, it's going to hurt the earth and the trees and the sea. And in Revelation 12, there's war in heaven. Michael and his angels, I'm thinking it's those four angels holding the winds. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. That's SpaceX dragon. That's how Satan manifests. As a little horn. 10 horns. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Now is come salvation. That's the next verse says, he heard a loud voice in heaven saying, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God. That's why I believe that flat earth is the gospel of the kingdom. We're preparing the way for the Lord by the Spirit of truth is reproving this world of sin because we didn't believe in him. But this war in heaven, you can see it with your eyes if you want. You have to watch a SpaceX launch. And Dragon fights with Michael and his angels. Literally. Because what happens after that? The sky rolls back like a scroll, the stars fall to the earth, and then all the people on earth say, hide us from the one who's sitting on the throne. Because guess what? God's above that darkness. That vast universe that we all been mesmerized with the size of this never-ending universe. Yeah, guess what? That's under God's feet. So, this war in heaven is not anything but the destruction of this earth the way we know it. And it says it right here in the Bible, in Revelation. It's a great book.
turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For every one that stealeth shall be cut off, as on this side according to it. And every one that sweareth shall be cut off, as on that side according to it. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name.
Raging waves of the sea, foaming out their own shame, wandering stars, to whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever.
For if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment, and spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the 8th person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with an overthrow, making them an ensample unto those that after should live ungodly. And these are wells without water, clouds that are carried with a tempest, to whom the mist of darkness is reserved forever.
The weird part about it is space is so incredibly black, so incredibly dark. It's a bottomless pit of deep black, almost so deep it almost has a texture when you look at it.
Wandering stars, to whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. Whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. The blackness of darkness forever. Well, I believe he's clearly talking about him. Because in the Bible, there's a place where there's darkness forever. And it's called hell and the lake of fire.
When you come in from a spacewalk, you're surrounded by the emptiness of space. It's sort of like the opposite of air. There's nothing there at all. When you quickly repressurize the hatch and you open up the hatch and you smell, what is that lingering smell from a place that used to be exposed to space? The smell in there is a little bit like that trace of a smell of gunpowder or burnt steak, or sort of like brimstone, like a witch has just been there.
Brimstone. Sort of that metallic gunpowder fired smell.
So they build a little tin can and they put it on a rocket and they blast it up to some blackness of darkness where there's no birds, no air, no water, no food, no life. And they start building it up piece by piece, sending rockets, or actually the shuttle, sending the shuttle up piece by piece. Solar arrays, the Canadarm, all these modules and laboratories, they call them. It's a deception. I'm not saying it's not real. I'm saying we all, NASA included, and everybody working at NASA and SpaceX and every space agency that exists are being deceived. They aren't the deceivers. They're being deceived. The people in this world who are bearing witness to a specific truth that they did not see just 5 or 6 years ago have uncovered something, and it should be looked at very carefully. For the past almost 20 years, in reality, we have had a wandering star, or you could call it the space station, but from the ground, we witness for 20 years now a wandering star over the earth that is on a specific, precise schedule. And you can go outside and look up in the sky at the right time, and you can watch it fly over your head. 20 years we've had that. And before that, we didn't have that. They say they went to the moon. That's a whole different story. But going to the moon and all of these space endeavors has come to this point. Here's where we are now in 2019, where we have a world full of people that believes that there is a man-made machine up in heaven. Because if we go back to square one, what we know is that there's the Word of God. Some of us don't believe that, some of us do believe that. But in the Word of God, at the end of days, there was an eighth wandering star in the heavens. And there used to be only 7. I'll explain what I mean. Enoch was shown this place, and he was shown the 7 planets or wandering stars, and it was explained to him that they were in a prison for the stars in the host of heaven, and that they would be there imprisoned till judgment, and that from there they would be deceiving and defiling mankind. And then in Revelation, John was shown a vision of what the world would be like at the end of days. And in his vision, an angel took him away in the spirit to a wilderness, which I believe is this blackness of darkness. And John did see the same 7 mountains, or wandering stars. Enoch called them mountains. John saw those same 7 mountains. But in John's vision at the end of days, there was an 8th mountain. And it was the beast that was deceiving the whole world. And the story keeps going. This beast was given his power from a dragon. The dragon gave the beast its power, seat, and great authority. SpaceX Dragon happens to resupply this International Space Station. Now this is a Russian launch of a Soyuz rocket that we're watching right now. That is the only transportation for astronauts to travel up to this space station. In Revelation, the beast that John saw getting his strength and power from the dragon also had the feet of a bear. And if we look at this space station, the only way an astronaut can get to the space station is on a Russian Soyuz, because NASA has not put an astronaut in space since the shuttle was abruptly shut down. The shuttle program was retired in 2011. It's 2019, and an astronaut has not been put in space by NASA since 2011. That's 8 years.
If I spin this can, we know that according to the equations of motion, that we would expect that if once this is given a spin. Hi, Roger. Houston, Apollo 11. Calling in from about 130,000 miles out. And we'll zoom our camera in slowly, get the most magnification we can. Over. Roger. It's Big Mike Collins. And it is sort of down in a dark corner, so we have a flashlight here to help us see things. And if I can let go of it carefully, it'll just hold itself right where it is. Roger. As long as you disturb it, will. Apollo 11, Houston, that's a pretty good demonstration. You started out really stable there, Mike. It's, well, the problem is no matter how carefully you let go, you bump it just a tiny little bit, set it in motion, and once in motion, there she goes.
I bet you've seen pictures of the astronauts up in the space station, and they're floating around as if there's no gravity at all. And this is actually a really interesting misconception about what's going on with the astronauts. So it's not that they're weightless because they're in space and far away from the Earth. They're actually close enough to the Earth to feel the gravitational pull of the Earth itself. So what's going on? Why are they floating around? Well, this is what an orbit really is. We have to get spacecraft going very, very fast to put them into orbit. That's why we put them on rockets. Rockets launch spacecraft and get them going very, very fast. And if you're in orbit where the space station is, you're traveling at about 17,000 miles an hour. Now, what happens to those astronauts is that they're going very, very fast, but they're actually freely falling towards the Earth. The Earth has gravity, and that gravity is pulling them down, just the same as what would happen as if you dropped a ball. If you dropped a ball, it would fall to the floor. The same thing is happening to the astronauts. They are falling towards the surface of the Earth. They keep missing the Earth as they fall. And that's the definition of an orbit. That's what an orbit is. And that's why you need a rocket to get into orbit. You need to get yourself going so fast that as you fall back towards Earth, you keep missing it. So the astronauts are not weightless because there's no gravity in space. The astronauts are falling the same way a skydiver is falling freely through space. It's just that they're going so fast, they keep missing the Earth. They are all the time falling towards the Earth, going fast enough that they keep missing it. Everything that's in orbit around anything else is doing the same thing.
See things, and if I can let go of it carefully, it'll just hold itself right where it is.
Free fall to the moon. Spinning ball cartoon. I hope you guys get the point I'm trying to make. I see an inconsistency here. And it's a real one. When they are orbiting the Earth on Apollo 11 before they go to the moon, when they change their trajectory from that free fall orbit around the Earth, they have to go straight up towards the moon. So how do they free fall straight up? I have a lot better explanation, and I've been trying to explain it. I think of the Tower of Babel, and I think of Jasher 9. When they got to the top of the tower, they shot arrows and spears up at heaven to try to kill God. And what did God do? He sent the arrows down covered in blood to cause the wicked people to err. So I see that happening in 2019 right now in front of my face. I see idols being put up in God's tabernacle, in God's temple, and defiling it. and I'm trying to open your eyes. Oops, sorry guys. I just pulled up a video for Calvin, and as I did that, let me pause it here. As I did that, my program didn't like it, and it told us. So why don't I just pause it right now since we're already paused, and why don't I go over to my desktop and we'll watch this video here really quick. Let me go full screen, tools, video, full screen. All right, this is that's my house right there, and that little star, it looks like the moon kind of, but it's not. It's Venus. and I noticed I seen a couple of those Starlink satellites flare, and I was like, oh, I wonder if I grab my camera if I could catch any more. So I grabbed it, and this is what I caught here. And this, yeah, they look like stars moving across the sky. But that's Venus right there, I guess. I'm sorry, that was the moon, I think, up there. I don't remember. There, that one just popped into view. So I zoomed in on it, didn't get any detail, but then I was like, wait a minute, there's another one coming. So I zoomed back out, and if you look at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, you'll be able to see it actually show up, I think. Yeah, right there. I'll replay that for you. They just come out of nowhere. See that? So then I went to film that one, and I think I caught another one. See how that one's on the same
Starlink,
on the same path? Well, they launched 60, so
Venus.
There'll be 60 on the
Now
same
watch,
path.
to the bottom left. You see a flare.
Yeah, you'll see one on the bottom left, I think. Or maybe that was the
the
last
third
one.
one I saw.
I think that was the last one I got.
Now I'm not seeing them.
So let's see here. Hold on a minute. I'm going to figure out what I'm doing here. Okay, I'll go back here and we'll watch them again. And oh, there's that one. Now they spread out, right? They launch 60 at a time, so there's 60 going kind of in one direction, like a line. I think you guys have probably seen that. I'll get that video ready for the next video.
There's Starlink.
Just to show you.
It's Venus. Now watch, to the bottom left.
Yeah, that was the last
You see a
one.
flare.
So let's watch. I gotta find a video really quick. This is not my video here, but this is oh wait. Oh, I put Bible verses to it here, but this is images of it right here.
As for the beauty of his ornament, he set it in majesty, but they made the images of their abominations and of their detestable things therein.
This
Therefore,
is like right after launch.
have I set it far from them, and I will give it into the hands of the strangers for a prey, and to the wicked of the earth for a spoil, and they shall pollute it, and they shall pollute it. My face will I turn also from them, and they shall pollute my secret place, for the robbers shall enter into it and defile it. Make a chain, for the land is full of bloody crimes, and the city is full of violence. Wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen, and they shall possess their houses. I will also make the pomp of the strong to cease, and their holy places shall be defiled. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none.
Did you guys hear that? Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. So yeah, this is right after launch. They're close together like that, but then they spread out with time. And basically, they're covering the surface of the earth now. If you go outside and let your eyes adjust, you like, especially if it's like right near the time, you know, close to the time when it's getting dark or after dark, like the closer that the sun is to you, because we live on a flat earth, guys. So the closer the sun is to you, the more of them you'll see. But at the same time, it has to be dark out. So the sun has to be kind of gone down already, almost. Or it does have to be down, pretty much. You can tell in this video that it was not quite dark out yet. The sun, I think, was still up in that, or not this video, I'm sorry, the video that we watched that I took. I still have it up on my screen here, and I don't know how to turn it off. How do you get out of there? Oh, there we go. Sorry, guys. Okay, so I'm just going to say hi to Daniel. Good to see you. And Calvin said, do they wobble? they do not wobble. They go in a perfectly straight path. So they're just like a straight line, basically. Let me grab a video. Let me show you what they look like. Yeah, here, I forgot that I had this video. Here's some, this isn't my footage either, but there's some footage of it. Where is this? I forgot what it was called now. Oh, I remember. Where are we? Somewhere right here. Sorry, guys. I always do this to you, don't I? Here, let me find a video. It'll only be a second. It's called... Oh, where is it? I have two videos that I put together to format them into... You know what? We're just gonna do it a different way. Oh, that wasn't what I was trying to do. Oh. Sorry, guys. One more try. It's got two names. There it is. I found it. Okay. I'm not sure if it's... I think it's the first video on here. We'll find out. I think it's... This is a channel called... What was this channel called? Scanner Guy 1968 or something like that, possibly. Thanks for hanging, Daniel. I think that's whose footage this is. And let's watch it. Let's see here.
I will
steer their orbits. Okay, here we go.
Yes. And God saw.
Alright, here we go, guys. Here's some footage from the ground. Along with some scripture, of course. And many chiefs of the stars shall transgress the order prescribed, and these shall alter their orbits and tasks, and not appear at the seasons prescribed to them. And the whole order of the stars shall be concealed from the sinners, and the thoughts of those on the earth shall err concerning them, and they shall be altered from all their ways, yea, they shall err and take them to be gods. And evil shall be multiplied upon them, and punishment shall come upon them so as to destroy all. So there's a little footage of them. That's what your sky looks like, guys. If you haven't been paying attention. Now this is sped up. They don't go that fast. But they are all over in the sky. All over the place. You know, this is written about in the Bible too. Just like I was talking about earlier, the land of God's elect ones will be tread underfoot. Are you sure those aren't comets or asteroids? Yeah, no, they're Starlink. See how they're on the same path? They're going different directions because that was a different launch. Each launch is going to be going on a certain direction. So 60 of them will be going the same direction, but they spread out to cover the whole Earth. That's the whole point. I'm sure it's nefarious. I don't know exactly what it's for, but I'm sure it's going to be used for something horrible. Yeah, there's a lot of them up there.
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven.
Whoops, sorry about that. I gotta pause the video and talk about this. Did you see the verse that was just on the screen? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. Who said that in their heart? Lucifer did. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. So what is the deceiver going to do? Think of the shuttle. Think of these rockets. What does the deceiver say he's going to do in his heart? I will ascend into heaven. Who else says that they will ascend into heaven? Who says that? Space agencies. Not Hollywood. Not the Jesuits. Not any human being on the earth is understanding this, really. What is evil? What's evil and what's deception? I'll read the verse again. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. Okay, remember we were watching Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut, and I was saying he's deceived. And he's believing a lie. And he's loving it. He's talking about how we're going to, Elon Musk is going to create a world for us to resort to, on Mars, Oh, interesting, Calvin E. I heard a guy talking about the Pegasus the other day. He was thinking that's where Christ may return from, that constellation. Made sense to me with him riding the white horse. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? But we know that Jesus is going to come back in like manner. So, and yeah, he's going to be on a white horse with a vesture dipped in blood, or whatever, soaked in blood, or I can't remember the exact words. But so I got a video here that I want to play. I have a couple here actually, but this one is I'm talking in this video, and so please just at least consider these things, because otherwise, like, okay, put it this way, I wouldn't be making a video, I wouldn't be on YouTube at all if I didn't have this burning requirement in my life that was ordained not by me, if you know what I'm saying. A commandment, like coming from a different realm, from the coming from God. And a lot of people don't really believe that, but there's one thing I have on my mind, and it is to get people to come out of Babylon. That's really what the whole point of any of this flat earth stuff is. Space exploration is Babylon exploration, guys. Apollyon comes up from the bottomless pit, right? Or he's the angel of the bottomless pit. The bottomless pit is, you heard Robert Breaker saying in the Bible, there's a place of darkness called hell. Jesus called it outer darkness, where there'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth. That's space, guys. Notice when they go to space, what was that? I forgot her name, Michelle Thaler, I think. I had her on the video here earlier. What did she say? She said, anything that's in space is free falling. Free falling, guys, into darkness. They're sinking into Sheol early. This is how bad, they don't understand it. They think that there's life out there, or whatever. They think that there is something for them out there, and they believe in it. They believe that there's these planets or places that they can go and set up shop. Let me play something here, or let me go to my desktop. I'm gonna play a video. I gotta find it first really quick. There's a guy in this world that's really changed everyone's outlook. I'm gonna try to find here we go. I guess we'll watch it. No, I don't know where to watch it. I already saw on my live thing it said it detected something or other, copyright, or yeah, whatever it was. So it said it might block some of my stream, but sometimes it says that without anything happening. Okay, let me try to do a little better. Sorry guys. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna watch it on iGadget Pro channel, I guess. I'm gonna go there and go to desktop, and I got the sound off for the ad here, but
Thanks, Jim. I mean, after these great words that were spoken, I'm not sure I have much to add. There's from Bob and Doug and Jim, but I do think what this heralds really is fundamentally a new era in space flight, a new era in space exploration. We're gonna
sound is terrible on this
have
video.
a
Hold on,
base
sorry
on the moon.
guys. Sorry. I got it. Yeah, the sound was terrible on that. Let me try to find a different one. Thanks, iGadget Pro. You suck. Let's find a different one. Oh man, I thought they'd be everywhere. Let's see. I'm gonna write Johnson. This might pull it up. Wow. That's insane. This was just like yesterday. It should be all over the place. Let's see. Okay, maybe this, I don't know. Let's see what this says. There's there's, look at, John saw that. John saw this, you guys. John that wrote Revelation. And Jesus saw this in Luke 10.
The whole world can take some pleasure in, and can really look at this as an achievement of humanity. And there's, these are difficult times.
Sorry
when,
about the awful sound.
There's not that much good news, and I think this is one of those. This is one of those things that is universally good, no matter where you are on planet Earth. This is a good thing.
I can't hardly hear it, and I got my headphones cranked up, so I don't know what the deal is there. Could you guys hear that okay? I don't know. Forget about it. Elon Musk is, he's deceiving the saints real bad. Big time. That's all I can say. It's not gonna change either. It's not. Daniel saw it. Daniel saw the saints being deceived until the Lord came. Till Jesus came. All the way till Jesus came. He prevailed against them. But even though that happens, they still take the kingdom. Somehow. It's going to be interesting to see from my point of view, because I don't see any kind of belief in Jesus going on, hardly. Like, people believe in Jesus, but they, like, yeah, you guys, if you guys have paid attention to what I've been, talking about, there's rockets in your Bible, guys. No joke. Yeah, so that's, by the way, the whole reason I started this video was Starhopper, and it was scrubbed. They didn't do it. So yeah, let's see here. Let me go back to the video, and okay, let's listen or watch this video, and then I'll probably kick it out of here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and chatting, and for sure subscribe if you want, if you're not, and check this out right here. How is it that everybody lived on a globe 5 years ago, and now probably millions of people do not? live on that globe anymore. Because they believe, keyword, believe, in a different, they believe they live in a different world. One that has foundations and a firmament and waters above, as you can see clearly on this footage of the moon that I took. Do you see how it looks like we're looking through water? How it kind of shimmers? Anyway, that's the world I believe in, the one that God made, and he built it. And it was just so happens that Abraham was searching for that world too, or that city, I should say. So in the Bible, in Revelation, something comes down out of heaven from God at the end. And it is a city. And it is a mountain, Mount Zion, New Jerusalem. And it is a spiritual city, not a terrestrial city. Not one that's built with hands. Not one that's built with stones or bricks or wood. It's a different kind. In fact, the pillars in the temple of this city are actually saints. They're actually believers in the truth. So it's obviously not a building such as we build on the earth here. This place comes down out of heaven from God, and the whole world gathers against it, this city. I'm here to tell you that this has already happened. And a lot of you are saying, no, you don't know what you're talking about. And all I gotta say is I have a witness. And my witness is the Lord. He foretold it. And now it's happened. And there's only a matter of time until the darkness is thrown down to the earth. And those who believe in that city are going to go live in that city. And the rest of the world is going to be consumed. Damned. So, flat earth is just the truth? Did somebody say that? That's what people tell me all the time. It's got nothing to do with salvation. That's what they say all the time. Even though when I point out verses like Luke chapter 3 that describes a flat earth, and then it says, and all flesh shall see the salvation of God. And 1 Peter says that salvation is revealed in the last time, and that the prophets searched diligently for it throughout time. So what is salvation? Well, it's kind of like a given that it's being saved, right? Being saved. What are you being saved from? You're being saved from outer darkness. You're being saved from being consumed by the abyss and fire. Luke 8 verse 17 says, for nothing is, it's Jesus saying this, for nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad. Take heed therefore how you hear, for whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away, or taken even that which he seemeth to have. People are looking for World War III while they fight World War III. They're waiting for World War III while they fight the war. While they lose the battle, they feel as if they have won. They said, I believe the truth. Earth is the way that it's biblical cosmology. That's the truth. That's what a lot of people say. I believe that myself. But does it stop there? Does that really matter? Of course it does. Jesus is the Word of God. So if I point out that the Word spoke and declared out of his mouth in 6 days the creation that you and I live in, how is it possible that you have a version of it that's different from my version of it? Or I should say, that's different from this version of it. Genesis 1. God created it by speaking it. He declared it, and it was done. And then, right now, he sent his children into this world without them knowing it, and revealed truth to them, and also made them bear witness and testify of him. So what came down from God out of heaven? Flat Earth did. And people say flat Earth's just a truth. Not if you're worshiping the beast. If you're worshiping the beast and the dragon, which almost everyone in the world is, they don't even know they are. It's just believing in something and having it be your reality. And Satan's deceived this whole world. So it's not just a truth. It is salvation. Let me read Luke. The reason why I say that, because I know that a lot of people get triggered when I say that flat Earth is salvation. But why don't we just listen to Luke say it then? Because if you speak the language I'm speaking, if you understand the words coming out of my mouth right now, then you also have the capability to understand what Luke says. Luke chapter 3, verse 5, we're going to study this very briefly. It says, every valley shall be filled. Do I really have to explain this? Valleys are a part of the earth. That's what they are. They're part of the terrain of the surface of the earth. So how would you know if there was a valley? If you're walking down the whatever path, and what would happen to signify that you walked into a valley, or that you see a valley, or that you were told that there was a valley up ahead or something? What would signify that it was a valley? The ground, the shape of the ground would change. So when he says every valley shall be filled, what would that mean? A valley is like goes down. So if you filled the valley, it wouldn't go down anymore, and you just have flat ground. So that would be how you would signify that there was a valley, because the surface of the ground would go down, lower than the surface that you're walking on. That would be a valley when it goes down. So he says, every valley shall be filled. So I guess there's no more valleys at that point. every valley shall be filled. So then it's just flat, right? But then we have mountains, and we have hills. So the next part of the verse says, and every mountain and hill shall be brought low. So how do we signify that we are walking on a mountain, or that we're hiking on a mountain, or that we're climbing a mountain? How do we know that it's a mountain? What is the physical properties that are different than a valley or different than flat ground that signify that there is a mountain or a hill? The surface of the ground goes up. It's raised up for mountains and hills. Okay? That's how we know there's a mountain there. If you're driving your car and you'll see signs that say 5% grade or whatever when you're coming up to the mountains, or when you're coming out of the mountains. And what does that mean? Because the sign shows like a exaggerated slope. So what signifies that there's a mountain is when the ground, the otherwise flat ground, goes and is raised up. That is a mountain. So you wouldn't have a mountain if you made the mountain low and the hill low. You would again just have flat ground. So I'll read those two sentences again, or whatever. This is Luke chapter 3 verse 5. Every valley shall be filled, and every mountain and hill shall be brought low, and the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough ways shall be made smooth. We're certainly talking about flat ground. That's what we're talking about. That's what it just described. And I went in great detail right here to explain what a valley is, what signifies that it's a valley, what makes it a valley, what makes a hill, what makes a mountain. Well, this is saying, unmaking it. It's saying the mountains will be brought low, and the valleys will be lifted up, or raised. What did it say? Filled. So I'm going to read the whole verse, and then I'm going to read the next verse. Every valley shall be filled, and every mountain and hill shall be brought low, and the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough ways shall be made smooth, and all flesh shall see the salvation of God. Flat earth is salvation. And it is truth. And so much more. It came down out of heaven from God. Revelation 3 verse 12. Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my God, and the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God, and I will write upon him my new name. And John sees that in Revelation 20, I think. 21. Or is it? Sorry. Revelation 21 verse 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And then in Isaiah, the former things, Isaiah 48, look what I just saw. I just happened to page by Isaiah 40, verses 4 and 5. Might sound familiar. Every valley shall be exalted, and every mountain and hill shall be made low, and the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough places plain. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed. Revealed. And all flesh shall see it together, for the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it. So very similar to what it said in Luke. It actually said almost the exact same thing, but instead of salvation it said, and the glory of the Lord will be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. That's right now. But former things, because how it's in the former things are passed away. Well, look at what the former things are. Isaiah 48 verse 3. I have declared the former things from the beginning, and they went forth out of my mouth. Like he declared them, and they went forth out of his mouth. And I showed them, I did them suddenly, and they came to pass. So, a new heaven, and a new earth, and the temple of God is in heaven, and his tabernacle will be with men, and he will dwell with men. Where is all this happening? In New Jerusalem. It's happening on flat earth. That's why he revealed it to us. Please don't say flat earth is just a truth and fool yourself into quenching the Holy Spirit, because he's here declaring things, and so are the children of God declaring things. Believe what they say, because Jesus prayed that you would. In John 17, Jesus said, for I have given unto them the words which thou gavest me, and they have received them, and have known surely that I came out from thee, and they have believed that thou didst send me. Or before that he says, I have manifested thy name unto the men which thou gavest me out of the world. Thine they were, and thou gavest them me, and they have kept thy word. And he says, he's praying. He says, I'm just trying to find it here. I have given them thy word, and the world hath hated them, because they're not of the world, even as I am not of the world. And then he says, neither pray I for these alone, but for them also which shall believe on me through their word. That's why he sent witnesses into the world. He made people bear witness to the truth. Here we are, doing it now. And I'm here to tell you it's not just a truth. And it's not about the shape of the earth. It's about the 6 days of creation. And that world is not a globe. We've been deceived. Believe the truth. That's all I can say.
Howbeit, when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak. And he will show you things to come. He shall glorify me, For he shall receive of mine, and shall show it unto you. Howbeit when he, the Spirit of truth, is come unto you.
Unto whom it was revealed that not unto themselves, but unto us they did minister the things which are now reported unto you by them that have preached the gospel unto you with the Holy Ghost sent down from heaven, which things the angels desire to look into. Wherefore gird up the loins of your mind, be sober, and hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Jesus Christ. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light, which in time past were not a people, but are now the people of God, which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy. Now to him that is of power to establish you according to my gospel, and the preaching of Jesus Christ, according to the revelation of the mystery, which was kept secret since the world began, but now is made manifest, and by the scriptures of the prophets, according to the commandment of the everlasting God, made known to all the nations for the obedience of faith. To God only wise be glory through Jesus Christ forever. Amen. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my God, and the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God, and I will write upon him my new name. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. I hope it's not too late. Hello? Hello? And they asked him, saying, Master, but when shall these things be? And what sign will there be when these things shall come to pass? And he said, Take heed that ye be not deceived. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ. And the time draweth near, go ye not therefore after them. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified. For these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Then he said unto them, Nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And great earthquakes shall be in divers places, and famines and pestilences and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. But before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. And it shall turn to you for a testimony. Settle it therefore in your hearts not to meditate before what ye shall answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. And ye shall be betrayed both by parents, and brethren, and kinsfolks, and friends, and some of you shall they cause to be put to death. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. But there shall not an hair of your head perish. In your patience possess ye your souls. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck, in those days. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captives into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud, with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up, and lift your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh.